Hello and welcome to Intelligent Pod. I'm your host, Sophie Lane, and today we're diving into one of my all-time favorite topics, the science of serendipity. Can we cultivate accidental discoveries? If you've ever wondered why some people seem to stumble onto good fortune, or whether those happy accidents can actually be engineered, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to explore what serendipity really is, how science views it, and most importantly, how you can invite more of these delightful discoveries into your own life. Let's start by breaking down the word itself. Serendipity was coined by Horace Walpole in 1754, inspired by a Persian fairy tale called The Three Princes of Serendip. The princes, as the story goes, made discoveries by accident and sagacity, things they weren't in quest of. Fast forward to today, and serendipity is often described as a happy accident. But is it really just luck? Or is there a science, even a skill, to being serendipitous? Think about it. How many inventions or breakthroughs happened by accident? Penicillin, Post-it notes, microwave ovens, even X-rays, all discovered when someone was seeking something else. Alexander Fleming famously noticed mold killing bacteria in a petri dish and birthed antibiotics. And the story goes that Spencer Silver, a 3M scientist, was trying to make a super strong adhesive and instead made a very weak, repositionable one. His colleague, Art Fry, used that failed glue to anchor bookmarks in his choir hymnal. Voila, the Post-it note. These stories are inspiring, but they also raise an important question. Were these just flukes? Or is there a pattern? Let's dig a little deeper. Science actually has a lot to say about serendipity. Researchers have tried to define it, model it, and even measure it. The psychologist Peck Van Andel once described serendipity as finding valuable or agreeable things not sought for. But the interesting part is that not everyone recognizes a serendipitous event, even when it's staring them in the face. Fleming could have just tossed the moldy dish. Art Fry could have ignored that weird glue. What sets serendipity apart is not just the accident, but the insight to notice and use it. A 2018 study published in the journal Nature analyzed over 500 scientific discoveries and inventions. The researchers found that about a third of them were the result of serendipity. But here's the twist. The people involved were often primed for discovery. They were curious, open-minded, and willing to reconsider their assumptions. In other words, preparation met opportunity. We can also look at this from a psychological perspective. There's a term called prepared mind, famously attributed to Louis Pasteur, who said, "Chance favors only the prepared mind." Psychologists say that people who are more open to new experiences, what's called openness to experience in the Big Five personality traits, are more likely to notice unusual patterns and connect the dots in novel ways. So maybe serendipity isn't just about luck, but about having the right mindset. Culturally, serendipity plays a fascinating role. In some cultures, it's embraced as a way of life. Think of the concept of wabi-sabi in Japanese culture, which finds beauty in the imperfect and unexpected. In Western cultures, we often idolize the self-made person, the one who forges their own path through grit and determination. But even the most successful people will often point to a lucky break, a chance meeting, or a twist of fate that changed everything. It seems that no matter where you look, those who are open to the unexpected tend to be the ones who reap the most rewards. Let me share a quick real-life anecdote that I think captures this perfectly. Years ago, I attended a conference that I almost skipped because I was tired and overworked. But at the last minute, I went. At lunch, I ended up sitting next to a woman who was an expert in a field I'd been curious about for ages. That conversation sparked a collaboration that completely changed the direction of my career. Was it luck? Totally. Was it serendipity? Absolutely. But it also took me showing up, being curious, and striking up that conversation. So the big question, can we actually cultivate serendipity? Is there a way to invite more happy accidents into our lives? Let's look at some actionable strategies grounded in both science and practical wisdom. First, embrace curiosity. The more questions you ask, the more likely you are to notice something out of the ordinary. This can be as simple as taking a different route to work, reading outside your usual interests, or striking up conversations with people you wouldn't normally talk to. Second, practice slow observation. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to rush past anomalies. Instead, try slowing down and paying attention to small details. The next time something doesn't work as planned, ask yourself, is there something useful here that I'm not seeing? Third, diversify your inputs. The more varied your experiences and knowledge, the more likely you are to make unexpected connections. This is called combinatorial creativity. Steve Jobs famously credited his calligraphy class with inspiring the beautiful typography on the first Macintosh computers, something no one in computer engineering was thinking about at the time. Fourth, create opportunities for chance encounters. Go to conferences, join clubs, take workshops, whatever gets you out of your routine and into new social circles. Even online, joining new groups or forums can expose you to fresh ideas. Fifth, cultivate resilience. Serendipity often comes disguised as a setback or failure. If you can learn to see mistakes as potential opportunities, you'll be better positioned to capitalize on them. And finally, keep a serendipity journal. This might sound whimsical, but jotting down odd occurrences, random ideas, or chance encounters can help you spot patterns you might otherwise miss. Before we wrap up, let's recap the main takeaways from today's episode. Serendipity, those delightful accidental discoveries, aren't just about luck. They're about being open, curious, and prepared to notice when opportunity knocks in disguise. Science and psychology both suggest that we can actually cultivate more serendipity in our lives by embracing curiosity, slowing down, diversifying our experiences, seeking out new connections, and being resilient in the face of failure. So here's my reflective closing thought. What if instead of trying to control every outcome, we trained ourselves to notice and embrace the unexpected? How much richer, more interesting, and more creative could our lives become? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the science of serendipity. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you could leave a review. Your feedback helps Intelligent Pod grow and reach more curious minds. For detailed show notes and further reading, head over to intelligentpod.com. And if you have your own serendipity story or just want to share your thoughts, email me anytime at sophie@intelligentpod.com. I absolutely love hearing from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and remember, sometimes the best discoveries happen when you least expect them. This is Sophie Lane, signing off from Intelligent Pod.